Hey everyone! The Angry Video Game Nerd has Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I made it perfectly clear. Do not play this game.
The Happy Console Gamer has Dynamite Ducks.
This game is terrible. And the game is none other than the famous Dynamite Ducks. Let's just say that a couple times. Dynamite Ducks.
And I got Metroid Prime 2. Echoes. I meme it, I troll with it during the Juices Loose podcast I'm on social media. My stance on this game is very well known. But my shit, my reasons, my opinions, they're never unfounded. I have objective reasons why I hate this game so much. A standard conversation on social media, on the podcast, usually goes like this. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes sucks. Rage! Objective opinion. But, you know, usually I shoot people down with like 1 or 2 quick facts and shit, but obviously that never satisfies people. I can understand that. So today, we're gonna get objective in detail. I had a poll on Twitter asking people if they wanted to see a troll-free video. You know, no bullshitting, no memeing, no laughing, no mocking, none of that shit about why I hate this game so much. I was expecting people to just give me a lot of shit for that, but the response was actually quite nice. So, I want this video to be as detailed as possible, at least from my perspective. In this video, I will give you a bit of my history with the Metroid franchise. I will go in detail with gameplay reasons why I can't stand this bullshit. And I will give you guys a personal story that just multiplies my hatred for this game tenfold. It's gonna be detailed, it's gonna be amazing, and I promise, it's gonna be troll free.
Recording to logbook.
In around the 80s and 90s, I had a friend and we did everything together. We loved playing video games, and often I went to his house to play on the Super Nintendo. And one of the games we played was Super Metroid. This was my first contact with Metroid. I didn't have it on the NES when I grew up. After that, I grew up, you know, we split apart, I moved, it was kind of painful, and we got the copy box. On the copy box, you know, it was a system, you put it on the Super Nintendo, you could put floppies in there. It was basically illegal bootleg as fuck, but you could copy games onto floppy disks, you put it in a machine. We had Metroid on there as well, Super Metroid, and I played the hell out of that. I wasn't a huge fan, you know, it was just a random Super Nintendo game I enjoyed. And I didn't really look back much after that. Then I graduated from school and my gift, which I asked for, this all I wanted, was a Nintendo GameCube. And on the GameCube, I bought Metroid Prime. The original Metroid Prime. I still feel, even though I played Super Metroid in the past, this really was my entry into the Metroid universe. Metroid Prime 1 is perfect. It is one of my top 5 all-time favorite games ever. That's how good I think it is. From the beginning to the space exploration, to the detective work, landing on the planet, the Talon overworld, the magma caverns, Vendrena drifts, you know, the space pirate intrigue mystery, right down to like Metroid Prime itself. It was incredible. It was a perfect 3D game for me. I love this so much. It is super atmospheric and slow, and it is amazing. I love that game so much that afterwards I bought Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, and Metroid Prime 3, Corruption. I liked Corruption a lot because it brought a lot of hunters in the universe, and I really like that aspect. It used some of the motion controls, which for me always worked a bit janky, but still, I did enjoy Corruption. It wasn't the masterpiece that the original Prime was, but I mean, come on, Metroid Prime 1 to me felt like Alien. The first Alien movie, where you're alone in space and discovering this planet by yourself. It was just perfection. After that, I played some Metroid Prime Hunters. It's more like a demo for the DS. I didn't dive too much into that. And I think after that was only the first time I played the original Metroid. I found it at a flea market, I think, or in a lot on eBay, I don't really remember, and I liked the game, but it made me think of Super Metroid, and it was just missing a lot, so I was never a huge fan of this. I enjoyed the game, but I mean, like, when your first Metroid game is Super Metroid, just going to this after that, it just feels lacking. Like, I like to play this because I like what the original NES brings, nostalgia wise, when it comes to the sound and the control and the gameplay and shit, and it's still like a classic, but to me it wasn't Super Metroid. After that, Other M. And yes, I will say it again, I love Other M.
A dream. I had been reliving the tragic moments of my recent past. Thanks to the hyper beam, which was given to me somehow by the baby, I laid Mother Brain to waste. And the explosion that followed destroyed Planet Zebes, along with the remains of Mother Brain, the space pirates, and my long-standing nemesis, Ridley, and the baby.
The cutscenes just looked absolutely gorgeous cutscenes. I like it how they went in depth for Samus, her character, her personality, the way you work together on the spaceship. I love the fact that they blended the Metroid Prime aspect with Super Metroid, that you had like the first person perspective stuff and the 2D aspect. I thought it was amazing. But the thing for me that kinda ruined this game is the forced first person standstill motion control bullshit. I feel they should have gone a bit more towards the actual Prime stuff and then the 2D instead of what they did, because the first person stuff for me is the only thing I don't like about this game. Apart from that, I love this game. And then we didn't hear much from Metroid after a while. I never played Fusion and a lot of the other handheld things. I bought, in the meantime, Super Metroid and Samus Returns on the Virtual Console. I have on my 3DS and on my Wii, I think. And after that, they released this masterpiece, Samus Returns, on the 3DS. A perfect remake. They added stuff that was really like lacking on the Game Boy, and it has one of the top 5 like greatest 3D depth I've ever seen on the 3DS. This game was amazing. This edition came with a fuckload of goodies and it was just perfect. I enjoyed this game so much. And now we're just waiting on Metroid Prime 4, which was announced. And that's basically my history with this franchise. You might have noticed I kind of skipped Echoes a little bit on purpose. And that's because now we're gonna dive into my reasons why I hate this game.
Recording to logbook.
Metroid Prime is one of the greatest games ever made. But I've mentioned already why this is. So why can we come up with such a masterpiece and I grew this insane hatred for Metroid Prime 2 Echoes? When it comes to the game itself, I have 4 very specific reasons why I hate this game so much.
Recording to logbook.
And the first reason, and I talked about Metroid Prime 1 a little bit before, is very simple. It's the story. It's the structure of the game itself. Metroid Prime 1, as I stated before, it starts very alien-like. You're in space, you're discovering the ship, you're on your own, you're exploring, you use your visor to explore, to collect data. It's a mystery, it's a detective mystery, what's going on? Then you discover these files on the planet, you go to the planet below, it's super calm and atmospheric, and you slowly unravel this super awesome sci-fi mystery involving your old nemesis, like the space pirates, and how they've been experimenting with Metroids, and all this shit leads to Metroid Prime, and it is just so incredible, in depth, and it is just beautiful. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, I was like, okay, the greatest game ever basically, you know, it comes with a sequel. That's gotta be just as cool, right? No, because the whole story, all the lore and all the shit is thrown out the window. We don't do that anymore, we don't do space pirate shit anymore, we don't do the Metroid shit anymore even. We go to the super basic, unoriginal, boring light versus dark story. There's a light world, there's a dark world, there's light enemies, there's dark enemies. I think it's so stupid. I felt like how beautifully written, from almost like a script perspective of a movie. Metroid Prime was just perfect. It plays part of it. And Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, it just didn't have that mystery and shit. Just from the start, it's like, oh, there's a light and there's dark, it's evil, it's bad, blah. It's just so simplified. It's so simple, and that already bothered me.
Recording to logbook.
Then we get to ammo. So, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes has a light world and a dark world. So you get light weapons and you get dark weapons, but whereas Metroid Prime just showered you with power-ups and weapons and armor and all this bullshit, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes gives you a light gun and a dark gun. With ammunition! You're like scrounging half the game to find ammo for your weapons, and I don't see the point. It's just annoying, it just bothers you, you know, it makes no sense when it comes to how the suit works itself, I feel. It's just, the whole ammo thing is just so dumb. And then it's not just the ammo and the guns, Just everything is less in Echoes. There's less armor, less power-ups, there's less of everything. A sequel should not have less. I don't understand that. Why there's just less of all this shit when Metroid Prime 1 gave you all this great shit. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes removes half your arsenal, half your armors, half your shit, and it tells you an original story on top of it. It's like, I don't get it.
Recording to logbook.
The third point is like the worst. Metroid Prime 1. One of the greatest things about this, like I said, is the exploration. You're discovering this whole planet by yourself. You know, you're starting in space, you're going onto the planet, you're uncovering this mystery and shit. It is all about exploration. Metroid has always been about exploration. Even the older games have been about exploring spaceships and planets. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes says fuck to all of that. You're starting the game off and everything is poisoned. You can't look around. You're trapped in small little domes because the whole world is killing you. So you're trapped in these little domes, and that's why you're playing the game. You're running from dome to dome. You can barely look out of the dome. You can't really explore. You can't really observe and look and take it in. You can't immerse yourself in the world because you're just trapped in these little domes. And people can always bring like the counter argument, well, you're not trapped like for like the whole game in these domes, but you are trapped in these domes for most of the game until you get the light suit near the end. That's it. So I feel that Metroid Prime 2 Echoes removes completely the exploration and the immersion that Metroid Prime 1 set in place.
Recording to logbook.
And the final reason why I just can't stand Metroid Prime 2 Echoes is it just brings nothing new. It's an amalgamation of everything I said before. All the points and then more, you know. It has less weapons, less armor. The enemies are just less original, the light versus dark, but it brings nothing new when it comes to the environments. Metroid Prime 1 had like, you know, some of the standard stuff, but some of the standard stuff Metroid needs. You had like lava caverns, ice caverns, you had like these dark areas, you had like these poisonous areas, you had the forests, you had the temples, you had the facilities, the factories, you had space. There was so much in that game. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes barely has half of that. It just brings nothing new and takes away most of what the original had. Another example of that is like, oh, but why does it need so much more? A reason I like Metroid Prime 3 Corruption more is it adds more to a story. Like, it becomes a more personal thing. You have the other hunters are integrated into the story. You have the motion controls. It's not for everybody. It's not for me. But it added it, and it did work most of the time. Like, let's not talk about opening doors. And Metroid Prime 3 Corruption even added the ship aspect, where you could be in the ship. I'm a sucker for like gimmicky shit like that. You were in the ship, controlling the ship, you had screams, there was so many secrets to discover in Samus's ship, and I love that. It just brought so much new, and Echoes just, it's pales compared to like all previous games, and especially to Metroid Prime 1 and even to Metroid Prime 3.
Recording to logbook.
So when you have all of those reasons why I already disliked the game itself, after coming off perfection, going into that with all the points I brought before, there's more to this story. In Europe, especially around the NES and the Super Nintendo era, in Europe our TVs were set to 50 Hz. I'm not a technical guy, but basically this means shit ran at 50 frames per second. So NES games, for example, and Super Nintendo games, they ran slower than they did in America. You notice this a lot when listening to soundtracks. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Let me see if I can zoom into it. It's a 60 Hz exclusive game. This game was fucking perfection. I needed to play the sequel to something this good. I bought a new TV for that shit and I had to work my ass off. That TV was over 500 bucks. I don't use an emulator, this here. It's gonna be on my giant fat TV. This game was 60 bucks. Well, like guilders and euros conversion and shit, we're coming down to about $550. Between $550 and $600 at this point, I guess, in time. That's a fuckload of money just to play a game, but I thought it was worth it because Metroid Prime is one of the greatest games ever made. So I spent all this money on this game. And it bought me less story, less shit, less everything, such a disappointing thing. So when you spend so much money on a TV to play a game you were so excited for and the game turns out to be such a fucking dragfest shithole bullshit. Why?
Recording to logbook.
There you go. A fully detailed video with objective reasoning, personal anecdote, facts, gameplay, all this shit as to why I think Metroid Prime 2 Echoes is one of the worst games ever made. Especially it is one of those worst sequels ever made. It just doesn't make any sense, this game, to me. I don't fucking get this. Now, I don't want to end this on a negative note, but this was obviously going to be a negative video considering I hate this game and people are like, why do you hate this game, Retro? It's so stupid and shit. And this is why I throw a meme this shit, because it is a bad game to me. It's an awful game. I hate it. I fucking hate it. But we're going to end with something positive. Do I have anything good to say about this? I have two things. It's still not a Metroid Prime game. I still enjoyed it for what it was, even though it took, if I just completely did what Retro Studios did and separate myself completely 100% forgetting this game ever existed, it can be enjoyable. It's still like fun gameplay kinda, and it brought one of the most beautiful things, and I will always admit this and I'll always give this game credit for that. It brought one of the most beautiful things ever in the Metroid universe. The light suit. The light suit is bio booster perfection. It is such a gorgeous suit, and it will always be my favorite suit in the Metroid universe. And I honestly think it will most likely never be outdone when it comes to suit design. And that's all the positive I got to say about that. I want to hear from you guys. Why do you think this game is so good? Why do you think it's so much better than the original Metroid Prime? You notice I didn't touch up on the multiplayer. I just feel, I don't know, the multiplayer and Prime, done right, you get hunters on the DS. But this didn't bring hunters on the DS. That was just weird. I thought Nintendo Land on the Wii U did Metroid multiplayer better, and I would like to see it at some point, but it's nothing worth talking about when it comes to this shit. Tell me, why do you guys think this game is so good? Why some of you try to even dare to tell me it's better than this? Go fuck yourself! No! No, it's not! And yes, I said that! Go fuck yourself! How dare you say that? How dare you say that? And like I said, I really did enjoy Corruption. I think it's an incredible game, and it did it undid a lot of the mistakes echoes that it brought so much more. I want to know from you who dared to say my opinion is valid, just a hater who love trolling me. I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's hilarious. But it's never unfounded. This is a bad game. Stay real.